So what is a rumor?
It starts as a story. Maybe it's true, maybe not. But once you repeat it, it's hard to defeat it. Now look at the mess that you've got.
Hello and welcome to another rumor-filled, theory-based video in the world of gaming with your boy Geek Ghost Gamer Top on the microphone. And let's be pretty certain about this. Rumors on any form of gaming is a certainty, fam. There is a date that's been lighting up forums, social media, and private Discord channels for weeks. April 16th. Everything is pointing to one thing: a massive PlayStation State of Play. The rumor traces back to one of the most well-known insiders in the gaming industry, a source whose track record pretty much demands our attention. And yet, from Sony, we've heard nothing. Crickets. Absolute silence. So, are we just a few days from a huge showcase that could define the rest of PlayStation's year? Or is the entire gaming community being led towards the biggest letdown of 2026? There's way too much smoke for there not to be a fire, and today we're going to find it. We're digging into every piece of evidence, every rumored game, and all the reports to figure out if this thing is actually happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who are here for this rumor-filled news video, let's get into it. Let's just get right into it. The person at the center of all of this is a guy who goes by NateTheHate's. If you follow the gaming rumor mill, you know the name. He's a prominent and consistently reliable leaker, though like anyone in the rumor business, he's had both hits and misses. Still, when he talks, people listen. A little while back, he mentioned on platforms like X and Reset Era that Sony had a showcase planned well before June. That was enough to get people buzzing. Then he dropped something far more specific, an unconfirmed date of April 16th. He was careful with his words, stressing that he wasn't 100% certain. But the implication was clear. Something is coming, and it's coming soon. What makes this even more credible is that another small insider had apparently leaked the same date just hours before Nate, with his point essentially acting as a major verification. Since then, major gaming outlets have run with the story, all pointing to NateTheHate's as the main source, but every single one of them highlights Sony's complete silence on the matter. Okay, so if this event is real, what should we expect? The consensus, driven by NateTheHate's himself, is that this will be a third-party focused show. When asked if we'd see massive PlayStation exclusives like the highly anticipated Marvel's Wolverine, the hints suggested that first-party games would probably be sitting this one out. And honestly, that makes a ton of sense. Sony knows it has heavy hitters like Wolverine for a big summer showcase. A spring state of play focused on partners lets them fill out the release calendar and keep the hype going without revealing all their aces at once. It's a strategic play, much like their February show that gave us a new gameplay trailer for Control Resonant, and the announcement of a God of War trilogy remake. This wouldn't be the main event. It's the warm-up act. Rumors even suggest a follow-up showcase in late May or early June, which would be the perfect time for Sony to unleash its big first-party titles. This April 16th show is all about building momentum. Before we get to the games, let's talk about the big, blinking red flag in the middle of the room. Sony's silence. We are just days away from the supposed event. Having no official word from the PlayStation blog or their social media is, to be blunt, incredibly weird. This is the single biggest piece of counter evidence and the main reason for any doubt. Is Sony's marketing team trying a new strategy, letting the community buzz itself into a fever pitch? Or is it quiet because there's simply nothing to announce? That's the million-dollar questions. If the April 16th state of play is real, then it is almost certainly the stage for the return of a fan favorite. The single biggest rumor tied to this event is the full reveal of the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake, reportedly titled Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Everything seems to be pointing at one direction for this one. Multiple reports, including from Insider Game and users on Reset Era, have all pointed to April 16th as the reveal date for the game. It's no coincidence that this is the exact same date as the rumored state of play. Ubisoft even soft confirmed the remake's existence recently, telling fans to keep your spyglass on the horizon. They know how much demand there is. Black Flag is one of the most beloved entries in the entire franchise, and people have been asking for a modern remake for years. From a business standpoint, it's a no-brainer, with Ubisoft under some financial pressure. Leaning on a guaranteed hit like Black Flag is a smart, safe bet. A full gameplay reveal during a major PlayStation event would be the perfect launchpad, instantly making it one of the most talked about games of the year. Some reports even suggest the game's release could be as soon as the summer, possibly between June and August. This isn't just one rumor, it's a perfect storm of leaks, insider knowledge, and corporate strategy all coming together. If the state of play happens, expect to hear some sea shanties. Beyond the certainty of Assassin's Creed, the list of other potential games is where this showcase could go from great to legendary. First up is Remedy Entertainment. Fans are desperate for another look at Control Resonant, the sequel to their mind-bending 2019 masterpiece. The game was officially announced at the Game Awards in December 2025, with Remedy revealing it would be an action RPG starring Dylan Fadden, set for a 2026 release. Then we got a gameplay trailer at the February 2026 State of Play. An April showcase would be the perfect time for Remedy to drop a new trailer, maybe narrow down that release window, and remind everyone why they're the masters of supernatural thrillers. Next, let's talk Capcom. They have a mysterious, long-in-development title called Pragmata that's been floating around since its initial announcement. After several delays, Capcom finally locked in a 2026 release date during a State of Play in June 2025. Now, things are getting interesting. In a brilliant marketing move, Capcom recently announced they were moving the release dates forward in some regions, from April 24th to April 17th. A final hype-building trailer dropping at a State of Play just one day before launch on the 16th makes almost too much sense. Finally, there are big titles that just fit perfectly. Skydance New Media's Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, is expected to launch sometime in 2026 and could use a firm release date. What better place to announce it than on the PlayStation stage? We also have strong whispers of a new Metro game being revealed next week, which lines up perfectly with the rumored show. In fact, The same insider who first mentioned the April 16th date is also the one who teased the Metro announcement, making that connection feel even stronger. So that's where we are. On one side, you have a mountain of compelling evidence. A prominent leaker has put their reputation on the line, pointing to April 16th. That exact date happens to line up with the heavily rumored reveal of a massive Ubisoft remake. The rumored third-party focus makes perfect strategic sense for Sony's yearly plan, and a whole slate of huge, anticipated games from partners like Remedy, Capcom, and 4A Games are all primed for their next big reveal. On the other side, there's just silence. The deafening, unnerving silence from Sony. No blog post, no tweet, no official confirmation at all. As a fan, it's an exciting but also nerve-wracking position to be in. Ultimately, this is how the hype cycle works these days. It's no longer controlled just by the publishers. It's a living thing fueled by insiders, speculation, and the sheer energy of the gaming community. For now, all we can do is wait and see. The evidence is on the table. But I want to know what you think. What's your gut feeling? Is this state of play for real? Or is this all smoke and mirrors? And more importantly, what's the one game you absolutely have to see on April 16th for this to be a win for you? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to stay on top of this story and get the news the second it breaks, whether it's a glorious confirmation or a crushing cancellation, make sure you subscribe to Geek Ghost Gamer Top and ring that notification bell. We will be all over this, and you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some games. I'll see you guys in the next one. Away!